Greetings, beloveds, and welcome back. This is our 7-day outlook. Before we go into the cards, I'm just going to say a quick command over this session. Dear Source of all that is, was, and will ever be, we stand in your divine authority, commanding in alignment with your divine will. By the power of that same law, we now open our lives to abundant security, stability, and protection. No weapons formed against us shall prosper. Every case, cause, concern, conflict, and negative confrontation dissolves into nothingness by the radiance of divine light. We command true prosperity to flow into our lives, prosperity that nourishes our souls, sustains our bodies, and blesses all who walk with us. Wealth and resources are now aligned to our highest purposes. We command good fortune to follow us in all things continuously, as it is already so. Doors of opportunity continue to open before us effortlessly, and every step we take is guided by that divine light. We call forth true love, continued and continuously, divinely ordained, harmonious, and eternal. Our hearts and souls are aligned to receive and give love in its purest, most sacred form, continued and continuously. Now, may our paths be illuminated, our spirits fortified, and continued to be testaments to the boundless grace of the Creator. So it is, so it is, so it is. All right, we're going to go into the shadow work deck first. 7-day outlook. First, energy representing the primary energy of the collective. Let's go. Source, Holy Spirit, messengers of Source. Primary energy of the collective for the next 7 days. We're going to make a full pass. Primary energy for the next 7 days. All right, we had 3 cards come out. We'll take a look at the one face up first. This is the energy of feeling a strong need to support friends and family. And some of you may even feel drawn to careers involving helping others. Professions that involve some form of service. So some of this energy exchange would be transactional, which is typical in the mundane. However, the majority of this is unconditional, non-transactional energy. But the collective is still being guided to keep a keen eye throughout the next 7 days and reflect on your desire to help or save others. Embodying that role of protector and benefactor. Driven by a sense of duty or otherwise compassion. For some of you, this is the type of energy that You've been looking forward to coming in for you. Like, think of it the other way around, like the strong need for support from friends and family. Or otherwise feeling as though your vocation is no longer in alignment with your soul's purpose. As well as, let's keep it a buck, in the mundane, not all money is good money. And in some cases, you could be doing something to just get by that you otherwise wouldn't do in terms of career options. Others of you may be well-to-do as a result of your hard work, but perhaps emotionally and spiritually suppressed or feeling oppressed. Some of you may even be feeling a little bit lost at this time in terms of how to help yourself or how to help another. For a handful of you, this is like that air of caution, of misplaced senses of responsibility. All right, we also have frightening in the upright. You're commanding more respect in your lives, or you will be. Yes. You've come to a point in your lives where, or you will be in the next 7 days, where you've had enough. And this is like a combo move of self-respect and also commanding respect. But not in a overly domineering manner. The ogre archetype in this particular session is representing the raw and untamed aspects of the collective, examining how anger, aggression, fear, and even dominance have had some kind of significance where your attention is going to be drawn to. I see here, it's like you're continuously working through your emotions. It's as though the destructive force that was meant to destroy the collective is transmuting us into a source of strength and resilience. And furthermore, that ongoing journey towards self-understanding. Nevertheless, fostering growth through that introspection and self-awareness that has been coming into play, I'd say, for an entire year now, consistently. For no less than a year. And with the always right card in the upright, no longer feeling as though you owe anybody anything. You don't owe them validation, explanations. You can be confident in the expertise that you have gained based on your experiences. You may have been feeling as though a person, place, thing, or situation may have been overshadowing you. For some of you, it may even seem intentional. Something about arrogance, demonstrating a lack of confidence, meanwhile trying to break your confidence. Alright, that's all we're going to do with that deck. Enough is enough of that. Now let's go into the Angel Tarot. For a bit more energy. This time, energy that is indirect or otherwise not related to you, but it is, depending on how the cards come out, already in your orbit and environment, or coming into your orbit and environment sometime in the next 7 days. Alright, here we go. Source, Holy Spirit, messengers of Source, energy coming in the next 7 days. We have the Page of Earth. Taking on something new. This is confirmation of messages from the last, I would say, at least 2 sessions that we've done. Taking on a new project, practice, or area of study that really is going to it really is going to blossom into something that perhaps you shrugged off before, especially if it's financial matters. You may have just decided that you're no longer going to be as focused on financial matters, and instead take on new challenges that are more worth your while. Something that's going to blossom in numerous ways. Let's keep going. Oh, and we have the Three of Water, Three of Cups. Some of you may be invited to some kind of event, like a wedding or a graduation, or some even a baby shower. You may be receiving an invitation, or some of you may even be attending any of those sometime this week. March is somewhat early in the year for a graduation party, but hey, whenever you can really fit it in. Some of you are going to be invited out to have more fun, otherwise being encouraged. Like there's a need for more fun in your lives. Some of you may even receive some kind of proposal this week. Either way, it's going to be a reason to celebrate. Let's continue. Energy coming in for the collective. Oh, okay. We have the release card. So happy to see this here. This is not only confirmation of the transformation that I was just touching on for you, in terms of these challenges, you've decided to move on. There's also the end of a situation here. The end of a phase, the end of a habit, something that's being put to an end. At the bottom of the deck, we have the Magician, already here, already done, already in the orbit. Whatever the situation is, you're ready. You're ready for it. With this being major arcana, both of them being major arcana, I would say that this is something that you have been working towards, preparing yourself for quite some time now, putting in the work, preparation, leading to unexpected opportunities, and the energy to make it so is already in the orbit. Two of Earth behind that. This is confirmation of the need to have more fun. considering a more playful approach. Alright, let's keep going. Give this deck another little shuffle. And here we go. Source, Holy Spirit. Messengers of Source. What other energy is coming in sometime in the next 7 days for the collective? Oh, that's a lot. I'm just going to make a full pass then, since that whole chunk came out. Okay, that's a full pass. We'll take a look at that chunk in just a moment. First, we're going to take a look at this card that landed face up. We have the 10 of Cups. 10 of Water. I'll get these out of the way here. So, I see building relationships is most certainly going to be part of that energy. More trustworthy connections are going to be coming in for you this week as well. And that new, whatever it is that you're committing to next, this new assignment, is going to show early signs of a more rewarding and contented environment for you. Let's keep going. Alright, with these other cards that came out in a chunk, we have the 8 of Fire. All delays have been lifted. Blocks have been lifted. Things are going to be moving along quickly. Oh, look. We also have the energy of the Fire Horse and the Star and the Ace of Swords. This is the whole truth and nothing but the truth. Yes. Beautiful. I also see more careful decision making. More adventure. That adventurousness has really been sticking out lately through multiple decks. Whatever this is for you, I definitely see some heart expansion occurring here. Being more optimistic. Opportunities for more happy times ahead. Brilliant new ideas and inspiration. Those sparks of inspiration that came in over the weekend. Some of those new ideas and sparks of inspiration are going to start taking on a whole new life. There are blue and violet butterflies all over this image, as well as the blue sparkles all around her. And it's really, especially with the Sword of Truth right here, impenetrable protection from Archangel Michael and your guardian angels. So not just Archangel Michael. Nevertheless, you have protectors. And now Holy Spirit is saying both in the spiritual and the mundane. You definitely have someone near and far who has your back. They may even make that more known to you this week. But let's see what the significance is of these blue and violet butterflies. Blue butterflies, we already knew they symbolize transformation and hope based on I believe it is the Seed and Sickle deck, but it could be the Woodland Wardens. But I'm almost positive it's the Seed and Sickle. What I find fascinating about blue butterflies in terms of spiritual symbolism is that they also represent messages from loved ones and the divine. And as part of this 7-day outlook, I plan on bringing in messages from the Rose Oracle. And this deck is full of messages from the divine and our loved ones, as well as some beautiful insights on what I believe to be the true teachings of the Christos. I believe there's even a card in here that features Mary Magdalene. Although any of these cards may not necessarily be a direct representation of my own beliefs, I do still find the teachable moments and insights and golden nuggets within them quite fascinating. Even more fascinating when the messages that come from these cards come into manifestation. Already synchronizing with the blue butterflies and the messages that will be coming from the Rose Oracle here in a little bit. Better days are coming. Hope, positivity, and renewal. But for the second time now since I started talking about this butterfly, it's like I keep getting that nudge from messengers of the divine, messengers of source, to mention that energy of hope is still, it was somehow still giving that like low vibrational frequency of lacking. Because if we're hoping for something, then we're still in that mindset. that it isn't here, or that we don't deserve it, or it may or may not ever come into fruition, so on and so forth. But by believing that it's already here and already done, it shifts that frequency. And this is a message from your ancestors and your passed on loved ones who already knew this, and more than likely took on a lot of suffering and rejection, even, if not worse. And the best thing that any of the collective can do in order to really get that boost into this period of significant personal change is not only continue to follow through with leaving behind those old habits, and fully embrace this new opportunity and new phase that's being granted, trusting your journey, but also you are setting them free. Selflessly. Remaining optimistic. Continuing to embrace your authentic self. Continue to embrace the changes with confidence. And the best place to start is here and now, appreciating the present moment. Now with the purple, the violet rather, oops. Notions of spiritual awakening, self-discovery, or transformation, that all pretty much mean the same thing. Navigating life's challenges with grace and clarity. Beautiful. So more of that energy is coming in, because there's a lot more of those violet butterflies than the blue. So I'm definitely getting that surrounding yourself with more grace, but also carrying yourself with more grace. The clarity presented itself in the last session as well. You're being guided towards more new insights and understandings this week, where you're going to be called to pay attention. Trust your instincts. All of this is leading to yet another shift and higher state of consciousness. Ultimately, what we have here is upcoming positive changes. Interestingly enough, there's also that reminder of patience that comes with the violet butterflies. Reasons to celebrate. I'm hearing more gratitude. And with this release card, it's the end of more than one phase or situation, but it's also the end of tough situations for the collective. And you had it in you all along. Continue following your dreams. Embrace that more playful approach that can be found in these newfound trustworthy relationships. Delays are over. More adventure is coming in. You are already on the right path. And as a result, you're being led towards even more new ideas and inspiration. Let's now go into the Rose Oracle for these messages from, we'll say, angels, ancestors, and higher selves. In terms of insights and teachable moments that may be of benefit in the next 7 days. Source, Holy Spirit, messengers of Source. Energies from our A-teams that may be of some benefit in the next 7 days. Ooh, this one is called Healing is Happiness. You're not broken. Trust the process. It is safe to soften. Confirmation of what we were just getting from the violet butterfly. And there's also quite a bit of that violet in the background of this image. I had to look a little closer. I thought that some of these roses actually looked more like violet butterflies. So there we have energy that is going to be of some benefit that's coming in. card is here to remind you that you were never meant to stay the same. You're not normal, and that's normal. You're returning to your true state. And you're being guided to call in your support team. So there's confirmation of what I was saying in the very beginning of the message about your support team. That for some of you, it's going to be you reaching out for that support. And then for some of you, offering it. Okay, with friends and family involved. It can go either way, or one or the other, or both. But this is connections, nevertheless, that won't necessarily hold you to something, but they will hold you in that state of authenticity, because they will demonstrate unconditional love and grace and trust in you, because you are remaining authentic. And as a healer, you also know that you're not the one doing the healing. You're holding the vision of that return to wholeness, knowing that it's never been and never will be a stagnant state. No one is immune to the polarity of this planet, but we can choose through our own free will to not participate in duality. By embracing the shadow within, that duality collapses, Holy Spirit just said. But that's not Holy Spirit telling us what to do. It's a reminder of what we already know. Holy Spirit just said, I'm not telling you what to do, it's just a reminder of what you already know. You are remembering not just the grief and the agony, but also the ecstasy and the joy. Realizing that healing is always happening. The pain that we have endured is the portal to our liberation. You're not broken. Just trust in the timing. It's safe to soften. It's safe to trust. Let's keep going. 4444 on the timer. Let's take a look at that real quick. In terms of manifestation, divine support. And as I mentioned in the beginning of this session, it's coming in from both the physical and the spiritual. Structure with consistent action and determination. Continue aligning your intentions with your actions, staying committed. And no matter what new challenges we may face, we will not be deterred. Maintaining a positive mindset is essential. Alignment, nevertheless, seems to be the primary influence of these numbers. And you have the guidance and support to assist you in this manner coming in sometime throughout the next 7 days, including today. Aligning more deeply with your higher purpose as well as the divine, your higher power. Master number 44, representing a solid foundation, self-discipline, inner balance, and resilience. There's that second mention of resilience. This message has practically come full circle already. These new connections will be loyal connections, including reliable partners, whether it's in romance or business. Also, confirmation on that continued need for patience. Trust your efforts and remain diligent. And at the bottom of the deck, we have the Anointed. For some of you, this is literally a phone call that you're going to be required to answer. Otherwise, for the most part, this is figurative, but also spiritual in nature here. You're being called to embrace those gifts and start incorporating them more into your daily lives and in your purpose. To a degree, you're being called to show your work. But also, it's not due to being measured by your performance or your productivity. It's more about how others, it's like they're magnetized and even a little captivated by your energy when you're utilizing your gifts. And they've been requesting more of it. And perhaps you've just been dialing everything back for a little while now. Regrouping. But there's also been that message of coming out of dormancy. And share more of your gifts. Shine more of your light. You're being called in some kind of way to step forward even more and lead. Shedding the external noise. Anything, people, places, things, and situations that were getting in the way, stopping you from being all that you already are. You're going to realize through some kind of situation this week in the next 7 days that you've been preparing for it for a long time. But you're also being led through it and being called to deeply trust that call. The path that you are here to pave has not been walked the way you will walk it. As initiates, healers, visionaries, creatives, and leaders. Teachers teach, builders build, and leaders lead. And we are just one magnificent thread in the tapestry of life. And we can go our own way and trust the road that beckons, the one that's led from within. We're being called to step into our power, beloveds, to seed even more of what we came here to share. And this is already here, already done in the environment. So, you've been feeling that tug and ignoring it up until this point. And sometime this week, you're simply not going to be able to ignore it anymore. With the grandmothers also in the immediate orbit and environment, already paying some kind of respects to your loved ones, whether they're passed on or otherwise. But also trusting that the work that they did was not in vain. Being called to acknowledge the difficulties and what's coming up to be healed. To heal and integrate what you've inherited in your ancestral lines. But also remain grounded and rooted in your life. No matter how rocky things get, you'll always know that you are home. Let's do a split. We have, oh my goodness, lineage of the rose. More confirmation of that soul call. And although you're being called to go your own way, it doesn't mean that you'll be working solo dolo. Or partaking in these adventures and new missions and assignments, I should say. Like, go your own way, but still be down for the team, so to speak. Like, recognizing the value in everyone. With everyone following their instincts and their intuitions, the entire establishment, so to speak, is just going to know what to do. It's going to be your way, but it's still somehow all going to unfold as it should, and it's going to be committed more deeply to humanity, regardless of who's doing what and who's carrying out what task or what assignment or mission, specifically for each of you. It's still all going to contribute to the whole and the flow. Part of a collective team led by the mother of us all. To heal and be healed from destructive patterns of patriarchy. Being called to look within and trust the whispers and weavings that came from those caverns. Metaphorically speaking, of course. Knowing by our hearts and not our minds. Less overthinking and more trusting the threads that have already been woven as well. Your devotion to doing your best to support yourself and others. It's all being divinely guided. To make spaces where people feel cherished. Let's continue. But we're going to wrap this up. I know it's so vague, but everything that's being mentioned is going to be relevant to some degree at some point in time this week, sometime in the next 7 days. Source, Holy Spirit, messengers of Source. What other energy is coming in for the collective in the next 7 days? Oh. We have the sacred waters. More nourishment. And at the bottom of the deck, we have Sophia. So with the nourishment and the wisdom and the replenishment This is confirmation that the frequency and the energy to be more replenished is already within you, because the Sophia card was already in the environment, already in the orbit. This is also confirmation that some of you may not have ever even knew you had like a soul's mission and assignments and so on and so forth. And it's going to come to you this week, sometime in the next 7 days. And then it's going to be like a well of wisdom that is being uncapped. Holy Spirit just said uncapped wisdom. So things are going to just start coming to you this week. So trusting the intelligence that brought you here, embodying more of this Sophia consciousness. If you're unsure of what that means, but you're curious and it doesn't feel as though it's violating your free will and it doesn't feel forced, you can feel free to search more about Sophia consciousness, divine feminine wisdom, the wisdom of the cosmos. Doesn't necessarily mean that all the wisdom of the cosmos is coming to you in the next 7 days. No. That's not what I mean. Oh, goodness. So there's also going to be some kind of situation that comes about in the next 7 days where at some point in time you may have felt left out or like you were being left behind. But that perspective is going to change. And what comes after that is going to be dependent upon you, but you're being guided to trust that you will know what to do. What I'm getting ultimately is continuing that hemisync, that balance between your divine feminine and divine masculine energies. That balance of intuitions and action. Applying more practical means to your spirituality, but also Something about having the ability to simplify and otherwise complex ordeal situation. You will know what it means when you have this encounter. But otherwise, coming up with solutions, corrections, course corrections in unconventional ways, non-traditional ways. Okay. One more card, we're going to do a split. And we have the Temple of the Rose. More of that creative, artistic expression, for sure, for sure. Creativity is definitely going to be a major plus. Stay on that frequency of creativity. Remain there. Hold that line. Hold that frequency. You are creators. You are not NPCs. You are the captains of your ships. And there's going to be more activation of dormant archetypes and aspects of yourselves to be expressed this week. So, instead of drawing it to a close with this card, I'm going to be reaching for the archetypes to see what's coming to the surface to be, or what's being initiated in order to be activated. All right. This card here is really, it came from the middle of the deck, right? So, from the center point of the situation, this is actually confirmation of that remembrance. It's a call to action, to do more of the remembering, to go within, make time for yourself to go within. Call back your power. And then I see the only reason for this particular time of very temporary, short-lived isolation is to discern what's been silenced, dismissed, and disrespected. Suppressed. The feminine power, expression, and wisdom. Honoring the body, and then coming out of this very temporary period of isolation to express the wisdom, share your voice. Calling back your power and expressing your truth no matter what it is. A card of sharing your soul's voice and singing the song that you came here to sing. It's also about being a voice for the voiceless. As we reclaim our power, we do so for all of those who couldn't. Every shackle we break through, we free those who are even yet to come. Our voice, our song, our dance, as we reclaim our power, as that is what we ultimately came here for. to reclaim our power and express our truth, which cannot be dictated by anyone else. And even I, as an energy reader, cannot dictate for you without your permission. But ultimately, you are the captain of your own ship. And as for I'm just the messenger. Please do not pew pew the messenger. So, since that prompted me to reach for the archetypes, this is going to give us some insight as to what more energy is coming in as well. So energy and archetypes being activated or otherwise coming into fruition in the next 7 days. Here we go. Source, Holy Spirit, messengers of Source, closing messages for the collective. What's being activated and its role. I see the shadow is face up. And the venom. There's that confirmation. Oh, and the bridge. Oh, that's a lot. Oh, wow. Okay. We're stopping there. I practically did a full pass. I mean, there was a stack that was only about that thick left. So, yeah, we're going to stop there. Because this is a lot, guys. Alright. Let's take a look at what's face up first. We have the shadow, the rainbow, and the venom. The shadow, the bridge, and the venom. Choosing honey over vinegar. Keeping the reins on your tongue. Being mindful of your words. More coming out of denial. Which really just means that you're becoming more open-minded and optimistic. Without being easily swayed, Holy Spirit just said. Yes, acceptance. The shadow work leading to acceptance, which is the opposite of denial. These two side by side are literally figuratively opposites. The connection is deepening, entering into even more of a state of curiosity, especially for learning, beloveds, which also came out in the very beginning. But remember, it can't be forced. It must be made with love, or the structure will not withstand the inevitable weather of life. Opening up to otherness. We are the bridge. We are the connection. So rather than withdrawing and separating and saying no as much, or these periods of isolation, just like I said a minute ago, are very short-lived and temporary. So spending less time in isolation, less time seemingly disconnected. But that curiosity, is going to be like the framework for the bridge over that troubled water. Noticing the ease and acceptance. Rising above the muck. There's also more effective communication, so confirmation on the improvements in communication that have also came out in the last 2 sessions. Because this bridge that we're building is between our minds and our hearts, beloveds, as well. So this is a bridge that softens and heals. For some of you, this is confirmation to be expecting communication about your next mission or assignment, literally or figuratively speaking. Let's keep going. We have the Sustainer, Eros. There's that divine feminine energy right there. Right there. This is that Sophia energy. Taking center stage right now. And what's this? The Siren. Even more of that feminine energy. Now, in terms of that Venom card, these are realizations that we had through the suffering and doing that shadow work. But it improved our connections as well as our communication. Yes. It's that bridge between our heads and our hearts. But whatever it was that was once draining our reserves, what was once draining your reserves, we'll just say is being flushed out. There's also indication of something potentially harmful that could be in our environment that needs to be identified. But the remedy for that same issue will also reveal itself. Something about how this goes for the earth as well. Something... Oh, man. Oh, man. I don't really like to give these kind of messages. No matter what, you're being guided to choose honey over vinegar. But what I'm seeing here is either a person or a substance that is draining your reserves. But acknowledging it is the first step. More on that is going to make a lot more sense to you in the next 7 days because it will present itself to you. But no matter how it's presented, the collective is being guided to not wish or commit harm on any other. And just allow the consequence, the cosmic consequence, to be detoxified in order to break the cycle. Some kind of toxin in the environment that once it's being flushed out, it's breaking a cycle of some kind. That's all I can give you with that. And it's looking good with the sustainer out, as well as all of this feminine energy regardless. So I'm very confident that this could only mean something, yeah, because you're choosing, this is the peacemaker card here. You're prioritizing the peace, preserving your energy, also preserving resources, being more considerate of environmental impact, and seeing your role, not just in the impact, but in the divine cycles of life. Some of you may be feeling a bit overworked or experiencing some resentments, or that energy will come out in the next 7 days. Well, that archetype is the one that's going to need the most love, and thank goodness these two different feminine energies, divine feminine energies, came in, because it's going to be to offer that sustainer love. Another part that you're going to realize, another gift or part of yourself that you're going to realize in the next 7 days, that is going to offer nourishment, healing, and love and forgiveness to the sustainer for holding on to these things and holding them in place, or wanting to so badly, especially relationships. No matter what goes down, you're going to remain the peacemaker, the peace holder, the peace bringer. Contemplate what truly sustains you. Make a list. Notice how simple yet powerful those things are and spend some time tending to them. As for this, we're going to go into the siren here first because I want to end this with the arrows. The siren. Recognizing that it's the journey that matters. It's also where our lessons have been learned and courage has been rallied. Also confirmation to not resist the call that came out in the other cards. Do not resist the call. Whatever it is, you are going to know what that means for you. Also a message of not being seduced by negative self-talk as well as the negative critique of others. That's also the temptress, the femme fatale in some instances, but most particularly for this week, the energy that I'm getting is to laugh at the conventional crap and constraints. This is also confirmation of going against the grain of the destructive patriarchal tyranny. Turning it on its head. But also not being seduced into temptation all over again in terms of those substances, whether it's a relationship or an actual physical substance. But with the arrows here, this is also, and it's funny how the bridge and the arrows are in alignment with one another like this because they share similar energies. Yet another message of softening. And the collective is able to soften with the knowing that the very first card to come out was this message of all the blue, the protection of Archangel Michael and your other guardian angels. You're a team. So you don't even have to think about that. You don't have to think about being protected. It's just a knowing now. It's a knowing. The undeniable knowing. So you can soften. You can soften. And drop your shield and trust in these new connections, including those deeper connections that you will be forming with yourselves and your own gifts that you will be discovering more of all throughout the next 7 days. Ending on the same note with the arrows. Isn't that something? And don't forget, we did have the fire horse show up in the beginning. All that restlessness is now going to have a source to flow to, because new adventures, communication, connection, trustworthy, loyal connections to boot are coming in. But also that learning curve, more study, more practice, more continuing to put into that self-discipline, but also without becoming so obsessed with it that it starts to look like you're not trusting that process all over again. All right. Don't forget about that message of encouragement and reassurance from divine support, guiding you to continue maintaining that balance in your life. Thank you for listening. Trust your efforts and remain diligent. Multiversal Soul. With much gratitude and appreciation, my heart shall go out to yours. Brightest of blessings and agape, family love to all. And one more thing. I love you. I do.